So cylinder 3, we are getting good spark on cylinder 3. The bad cylinder that's giving us problems is 4, which is over here by the firewall. So now we're going to do the same test to 4 and see if that igniter comes on or not. So as you can guys see, we're getting no spark in number 4 from the coil. So now next step will be to test continuity between the red and green wire, I believe, and in the DME. I'll show you the diagram. It's going to be the connector all the way at the bottom, and the pin I'll show you. So we're going to test that, make sure that the actual circuit is good and the wire's not broken anywhere before condemning the DME, unfortunately. So this is how this works. You find, I'll show you on the diagram, pin 14. That right there, I can't see it, but it says 13. So 13, 14, 15, 16, it goes all the way. And then as you can see, it goes all the way, I think, to 24, I believe. The bottom row starts at 0, goes to 12. So as you can see, we're right at 0.2, 0.3, which is right where we should be. On the coil connector, right here, we have to find the red and white wire for the N63. You plug in your lead in there, and then this goes to the multimeter. And what this is telling us is that the connection, the wire connection, is good. Okay, if it said like OL, there either a break, or if it was giving us some 0.6, 0.7 reading, anything below 0.5 is acceptable. But if it was giving us like a 0.6, 0.7, there might be a short somewhere in the circuit. So at this point, it's safe to assume that unfortunately a transistor in the DME that controls cylinder 4 coil signal has failed. So all right, so let me show you guys real quick what we're looking at here. This and this is the DME, okay, just for graphic purposes. Okay, so here is going to be our coil. Okay, here is our power wire, 12 volts or 13, whatever, when the car's running. So it's going to be a red and green wire that's constantly 12 volts or more. Now on here, if you look, it says S63, which is M5 and M6, X5M, all those cars, X6M. We have the 550i, which is the N63 TU, okay? So our wire is white and red, not white. So that white and red wire is a test I'm just gonna show you with this Fluke multimeter. So this right here should be pulsating. It should be pulsating signal non-stop while the car is running to your coil, and we're not having that on cylinder 4. This right here is your ground wire. Now here you see number 14, that's pin 14 on the DME. On the power side on the DME, it's pin 17. So we need to hook up to pin 14 on the DME, okay, and pin 1, which is the, don't forget, the red and white wire, okay, pin 1 at the connector for the coil. And if right here we're getting 0.3, 0.2 ohms, the connection is good, and the problem is the resistor in actual DME. Okay, so in a nutshell, that's what you're looking at here. So this is the new DME being held in by 1, 2, 3, 4 10 mils. Two coolant hoses with the clamps. Take those off. One's the inlet and one's the output. And then there's connectors. They just slide out. Put this pin down, down, down. start at the bottom and work your way up. So with the new DME in place, we go to DME 1, which is the one we checked. Fault codes, no fault codes. Go back, DME 2, which is the one we did not replace, but we also checked that one. No fault codes. Both were reprogrammed, by the way. Car runs, no misfire. Misfire is gone. Coolant procedure has been completed on both DMEs for the secondary cooling circuit. I would also recommend replacing the rest of the coils so that this issue doesn't happen to the other DME. But yeah, so far it's idling good. Also, I put all new 8 plugs in there just as maintenance. So here's going to be your initial coolant tank right there. That's for the primary circuit. And then your secondary circuit is going to be right here. This would be responsible for cooling your DMEs. So just so you are aware, this is DME 2, controls bank 2. On the other side, you have DME 1, controls bank 1. So DME 1, bank 1, passenger side. DME 2, bank 2 is the driver's side. Just make sure to check your fluids while this procedure is going on. In here and also in there. Okay, so real quick, this is incredibly simple, but a lot of people have questions on how to bleed the cooling system on N63s. So what you do is top up the coolant in both tanks to full. There's 2 circuits in this car. I'll show you the tanks in a second. Connect a battery charger. Right now we have a strong battery charger connected, and it's roughly at about 13 volts or so, give or take. So you want to be at 12.6 to 13 volts at least, so you have to have a proper charger on there. Switch the ignition on, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Ignition is on. Next, you're going to want to set the heating to maximum temperature and press the blower to the lowest setting, so 84, 84, and lowest setting for the blower. Next, you're going to want to set the driving experience to anything but Eco Pro, so I like to put it in sport mode. Next, you're going to want to put the accelerator pedal for 15 seconds to the floor. Engine must not be started, and then the venting will start after that. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, stop. I always go at least 1 second above just to make sure. So now it's started, venting procedure started, refill extension tank immediately. As the coolant procedure has commenced. Check cooling system for leaks, close expansion tank. If venting procedure has to be carried out again, allow DME to drop completely. Means that you have to let the car go to sleep before starting the process again. Okay, so I'll show you in a second when we get out the car.